Hey gang, welcome back to the Press Gang Restaurant and Oyster Bar in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm Chef Brian Corkery, and today we're going to play with Atlantic scallops, one of my favorite things to eat. Let's get going with the caramelized onions. Want to make sure our knife is nice and sharp. Take off the bottom nub and the top. Just going to cut that in half. We want to make sure that we're safe when we're using one of these. So curled fingers, tuck your thumb, right? So let's start with the onions here. I'm just going to give them a nice slice. And again, as long as those fingers are tucked in, you'll cut the onion and not the finger. So I've got my pan on the stove here. Again, make sure you have a nice dry towel, a little bit of canola oil. Not a lot, just enough to get it in there and make them shine. Put our onions in. So while that's going on, let's prep our scallops. We've got some beautiful Atlantic scallops here, really high quality. They're flash frozen at sea, so when I get them, they're as fresh as they can be for me. A little bit of detail, a little bit of housekeeping with the scallops. This little nub here, this little muscle, you want to take that off. It's edible, and it does taste like a scallop. It's just a little chewy. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm having to listen to my onions. Once that gets really intense, you want to come back over to your pan, get your spoon, and move them around. Now you can see that we're starting to get a little bit of browning happening. Those are those sugars coming out of the onion, and they're starting to stick to the pan and caramelize and get brown. Look at these onions. Look how nice and caramelized and brown they are, right? That's what we're looking for. All those sugars have come out. They're nicely browned, really sweet. Now to accent that, I'm just gonna add a pinch brown sugar and a little splash of sherry. Pinch of salt. So let's sear some scallops. We'll get some heat going on this pan. Boom. There we go. A little bit of canola oil. Take some scallops. Just going to place them out on this paper towel. It's nice to have a dry surface when you're going to sear. Any extra water or liquid that's going to be on there, it's going to get into the pan, and you're going to get more of a boil than you're going to get a sear. Bit of salt. Bit of pepper. We got some nice smoke happening coming off of the pan. It's nice and hot. Take these scallops. And that's what you want. You want them to start searing as soon as you put them in the pan. Now scallops don't take that long to cook. So again, as in our last episode that we did with the halibut, I'm looking for sort of the same thing. A little bit of browning around the bottom, and you'll see the doneness start to come up through the scallop a little bit. That's going to tell me it's time to turn. The difference, the big difference with these guys is, as soon as I turn them, I'm going to hit the pan with a bit of sherry and turn the heat off. They're done. You can see the browning starting to happen around the edges. And when I hit this with the sherry, it's going to be a big ball of fire. Doing this at home, be careful. And we're going to take them out of the pan and just put them on some paper towel. All right, so we're ready to plate. We've got our beautiful caramelized onions here. I'm going to take a little bit of those, and we're going to go right on the plate. Spread them out, make a nice little bed or a nest. So then we'll just arrange the scallops nicely on that there. To finish, I'm going to take this nice red apple and we're just going to fan it out a little bit, and we'll just drop that right in there. Hug it around that scallop. Spring onion. Let that play there like that. And here I have a little bit of apple balsamic reduction, and that is apple juice and balsamic vinegar with a little bit of sugar, and I reduce it down until it gets to a syrup stage. So our beautiful scallop appetizer, seared Atlantic scallops on a bed of caramelized onions with apple balsamic vinegar reduction, apple fan, and fresh spring onions. Let's eat.